Today, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration plus NASA are going to debunk a long list of so-called space's achievements. What are they, I hear you say? Well, let me read the list off. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, Mars 2020, Mars Curiosity, Mars Insight, Juno, the Jupiter Space Probe, the La Crosse Satellite, which is essentially the Lunar Crater Observation Satellite, loads of so-called meteorology and solar probes and satellites, plus the National Reconnaissance Office secret payload satellites. All going to go up in smoke thanks to NASA and, of course, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. What better way to start the weekend by annihilating space and the globe? Just love it. First up then, we got some footage of NASA's workhorse rocket, the Atlas V, supposedly deploying a satellite for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I'm going to call them NOAA from now on. Problem is, this so-called geostationary satellite, or Earth observation satellite, has got a bit of a cable issue going on here, as we're about to see with the footage, but as you can see already, I've highlighted in the left-hand corner. Pay particular attention to, of course, the left-hand corner as we watch the footage. And as you can see, the light glimmers on this Thunderbird style or Thunderbirds-inspired so-called satellite, kind of giving the game away. So let's have a look at the footage. Bear with me. Remember, left side.
And we have indication of spacecraft separation.
So the only thing we got indication of there is the fact that's been lifted with a cable, mate. Coming back, let's have another look. Oops. And again. Dear, oh dear. And once more. That is very bad, chaps. I've got to say. That is shocking. But great fun. Now, I've highlighted this before. Months and months ago. But I didn't dig very deep. But I've recently dug a bit deeper. And boy, is this going to end in tears for the Cannonball crew. Bear with me. So as we've just seen, NASA's workhorse rocket, the Atlas V, has just kind of exposed itself, albeit Thunderbird style. The problem is now, because of that, we've got a long list of so-called space achievements that are now guilty of fraud simply by association to the Atlas V rocket. And those so-called achievements are the Mars 2020, Mars Curiosity, Mars Insight, Juno Jupiter Space Probe, La Crosse Satellite, loads of so-called meteorology satellites and solar probes, and National Reconnaissance Office secret payloads. The list goes on and on. But all of those things, which supposedly travelled in the Atlas V, have just been exposed by a Thunderbird's meltdown. And it only gets worse. Bear with me. Now what makes it even more obvious is when we come here and it shows NOAA's dependence on old 60s and 70s aeroplanes. You would have thought if you had geostationary satellites observing your key areas, you wouldn't need old planes. Trust me, it gets even worse in a minute, folks. But you just wouldn't need these old 60s, 70s style planes. Look! Still dependent on old planes, just like the US Navy and the US Air Force. And like I said just now, it's only going to get worse. Bear with me. As if the planes weren't bad enough, I'm over at NOAA's website now discussing balloons here and balloon tech for Earth observations, okay? The trusty weather balloon has been an essential data tool for forecasters for nearly 90 years, okay? NOAA's National Weather Service has launched these balloons since the 1930s to collect temperature, humidity and other data in the upper atmosphere as they sail through the troposphere and stratosphere. Fitted with special data transmitters called radiosondes, balloons are launched, listen to this, balloons are launched twice a day at 92 sites across the US. That's 184 balloons are launched daily across the US. Think about that. Look, it says that there. Balloons are launched twice a day at 92 sites across the US. So 184 weather balloons are launched every day across 92 sites, of course strategically placed to give you your weather in key areas and Earth monitoring. Add to that the planes filling in the gaps, and of course you've got your system in place that supposedly comes from space. Clearly it doesn't, because when we saw the satellite being released, it was a Thunderbird fest. Cables, essentially a prop being lifted from another prop. Sorry, they couldn't make this any more obvious if they tried. Old planes, balloons, 184 balloons being launched daily. That in itself exposes it. Why would you launch that many balloons if you've got geostationary satellites giving you your data? You wouldn't. You certainly wouldn't be launching that many. So we've got 184 balloons being launched daily, exposing the lie. We've got old 60s and 70s planes exposing the lie. We've got an Atlas V rocket exposing the lie. And we've got a Thunderbird satellite exposing the lie. You could say it's not been a very good day for heliocentric space and the globe. And you know what? I love it.